Hey guys, it's Megan. So I'm back. Here's my face again, like twice in a row. I'm pretty sure that's a record. And in today's video, I'll be showing you guys a couple different tie-dye techniques that you can try this summer. I guess this is a trend again. It must be because I had a heck of a time trying to find tie-dye. It was a little bit of a struggle, but I eventually found these two kits. So those are the two that I'll be using today. I mean, just in case you're wondering why I only had certain colors, that would be why. But I think that most of them actually turned out pretty good. So I'm really excited about these shirts. I hope you guys are too. I also made this headband, which transforms into a mask. That's pretty cool. So definitely stay tuned for that. Yeah, so let's just get into it.
If you're planning on cropping or cutting your shirts, it might be a good idea to do that before you start dyeing. To crop my shirt, I placed another shirt on top to see where I wanted to crop it and cut a slit in the side of the shirt. Then I basically just ripped the shirt the whole way across. If you rip the top and the bottom of the shirt at the same time, it's a good way to make sure that the hem's even. You could just leave it like this, but I decided to hem my shirts. I just turned the shirt inside out, folded and pinned the bottom edge, and sewed it using a straight stitch. I later realized that I probably should have used a zigzag stitch, but I didn't Google it first, so that's what I get. It turned out fine anyways though. And I used that extra fabric from the bottom of the shirt to make scrunchies. I already have a video on that though, so I'll just link it down below. Now we can get to the actual tie-dyeing. I started each shirt by running it under some water and squeezing it out so the shirt would be damp. If you're going to be making a big batch of shirts like I did, I'd recommend folding them all before you make your dye. Also, I didn't really get a clip of this, but it's a good idea to use masking tape and a Sharpie to label each color, since it's pretty easy to mix them up once you take the caps off. The first shirt I made used the crumple dye technique. I've been seeing this technique a lot lately, and it's super easy to do. Just take your shirt and scrunch the fabric up like this. When everything is scrunched together, use a few rubber bands to hold it in place. It doesn't really matter how you put the rubber bands, so just stick them in a bunch of different directions. Since I folded all my shirts before doing the tie-dye, in the meantime, I put them all in grocery bags and used masking tape and a Sharpie to label which shirt it was. This technique looks best with one or two colors. I used the color sky blue because I wanted it to kind of look like clouds. And here's where I learned that you should probably clean off your gloves or something, because I accidentally got a little bit of purple dye on this shirt. Yeah, so that was a mistake, but I fixed it, kind of, in the end. You'll see. But once I finished each shirt, I just put them back in the grocery bags and let them sit overnight. For the next shirt, I used the stripes technique. Take your shirt and do an accordion fold. Start at one sleeve and go the whole way across. I filmed this little clip of me folding a piece of paper to kind of help you see what I meant a little bit better. Once the shirt's all folded, put rubber bands the whole way down. Then, just add a different color of dye to each section. I forgot to say this earlier, but if you can find a wire rack to put your shirts on, it can help the dye not get mixed together too much. I did this outside on my porch. I set it up with the trash bag on the bottom, then some paper towels to soak up the dye, with the wire rack on top. This was actually part of one of those wire shelves, and I just found this in my basement, but you can get a cheap cooling rack at Walmart or the dollar store. The next shirt I made was kind of similar, only this time it was diagonal stripes. I used one of my long sleeve shirts for this one. I wanted the stripes to go up this way, so I started at the opposite corner and folded my shirt with that same accordion fold that we used before. Long sleeves can be a little bit trickier, since it's sometimes hard to know what to do with the sleeves. I brought the right sleeve down to meet the torso, using that same accordion fold. I folded up the rest of the torso, and did the accordion fold with the left sleeve too. Only this time, I kind of let the sleeve hang down. It's the same process with the rubber bands. Just start at one end and work your way to the other. To dye the shirt, it was basically the same thing. I think 3 colors work the best for these type of shirts. For this one, I used purple, lavender, and gray. If you're using a wire rack like this, make sure to rinse it off in between each shirt, and replace the paper towels underneath every so often. That's why it's good to do this kind of thing outside if you can, because you can just take it and hose it off, and you don't have to worry about dye getting on your floor. Idea number 4 is to do reverse tie-dye. This is basically just bleach dyeing with the tie-dye over it. Start by folding and rubber banding the shirt any way that you want. I just kind of pinched the bottom corner and put rubber bands the whole way up, but I think that it would have worked better if I would have actually taken the time to fold it like I did with the last two shirts. Next, spray the whole shirt with bleach. I use this Clorox cleaner with bleach, but you could also use a mixture of 1 part bleach and 1 part water. Let that sit for about 10 minutes and rinse out as much of the excess bleach as you can. Take off the rubber bands and throw the shirt in the wash. Take the shirt out of the wash, and while it's still wet, add your dye on top. I just kind of put mine like randomly everywhere and hoped for the best. The last shirt that I made was supposed to look like waves, but I kind of messed it up and I think I know why. Take a ruler and draw a line across your shirt with a washable marker. Make a few marks along the line where you want your waves to be. Mine were about 5.5 inches apart. Pinch each mark that you made and twist it like you're making a spiral shirt. Hold that spiral in place and twist the next one. Hold the other 2 spirals in place and twist the third one. And here's where I kind of messed it up. I used a rubber band to hold the spirals in place, but I really should have used string. Some string did come with the kit that I got, but it was not working out so good, so I should have just found different string, but anyways, I just used the crumple technique from earlier on the rest of the shirt. Use that washable marker again to mark a dot in the center of each spiral, and draw a line to connect them. On the left side of the line, I dyed it a solid blue. And on the right side, I went kind of crazy with it. I pretty much just used all of the blues. This is definitely a messy project, so definitely wear old clothes if you can. The shirt that I'm wearing here, it's already stained with, well, for one thing I wore it to the dentist and they got some kind of gunk on it. And I also got bleach on the sleeve when I was doing like a different thing with bleach, so this shirt's kind of ruined, so it doesn't really matter if it gets dye on it. And if you see here on the back, I didn't mark the middle of the spirals. Definitely do that so that you can get the best wave shape. I actually did one more shirt as kind of a bonus, which was this classic spiral shirt. I always like to have an extra item or two to use up any of that leftover dye that you have at the end. I'm sure most of you know how to do this. All you do is pinch the center of the shirt and twist it until you get a circle shape. Use rubber bands to divide the shirt into sections. I generally like to do 6, but you could do as many as you like. Just put a different color in each section, flip it over, and repeat on the other side. I also dyed the scrunchies here too, but they were kind of out of the frame. I left my shirts to sit overnight and brought them inside the next day to rinse them out. Rinse out as much dye as you possibly can and put them in the washing machine. I just put all mine in at once since they were kind of similar colors and they turned out fine, but if you really wanted to, I guess you could wash them one at a time. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the final reveal. Here's the crumple dyed shirt. This one turned out okay, but I got a few spots of purple dye near the sleeves. I mean, it's not super noticeable or anything, but it was noticeable enough. So I decided to cut this shirt into a muscle tee. I turned the shirt inside out and folded it in half. Then I took one of my old Brandy Melville shirts, folded that in half, and placed it on top to use as a guide. I have a ton of these, and they're all pretty ratty. They've all been pretty much demoted to workout shirts, but they're the most comfortable thing ever, I swear. So I marked where I wanted to cut the sleeves with a washable marker and cut them off. I made sure to cut at least 1/2 inch away from the edge of the original shirt, since even though I wasn't hemming this one, the hem will eventually kind of like roll up a little bit, if that makes sense. I had these butterfly patches that I bought a while back, but I never used them, so I thought that it would be cute to iron one on the front. And here's how the finished shirt turned out. Obviously, you guys already kind of saw this in the intro, but I don't know, I think it's kind of cute. I wanted to do something with the extra fabric, but I was kind of tired of making scrunchies, which, by the way, here are those, I forgot to show them. I saw one of these headbands that turns into a mask on Pinterest, and I thought it was a genius idea. I cut a rectangle of fabric that was 20 inches by 6 inches. Since one edge was already hemmed, I just pinned the bottom edge up, pressed it with an iron, and used a zigzag stitch to hem it. Then, I folded the 2 long edges in to meet at the middle, pressing those with an iron as well. I folded the ends in about 1/2 inch, then cut a piece of 1/2 inch elastic that was 3 inches long. Fold the elastic in between one of the ends and sew it in place. Bring the other end of the elastic around to meet the other side of the fabric and sew that in place as well.
So here's what the headband looks like on. I probably haven't worn a headband since like 5th grade. So it's a look, might not necessarily be a good look, but I'm sure you guys will let me know. Yeah, so, you know, there it is. And you can like do this, right? Oh, well, that's attractive. Okay, so you can like pull it down, oh, my hair, and do that. Like you unfold it. And then it is a mask. It's, yeah, like, and you put this part over your ears. And, you know, once all this stuff is over, you can just have a nice little headband, I guess.
Next we have the striped shirt. I like this one, but I might end up cropping it just a little so it looks better with shorts. Then we have the diagonal stripes. I think this one was my favorite from the whole video. I could definitely see myself wearing this a lot. And here we have the bleach dyed shirt. I actually like this one more than I thought that I would, although it definitely gives me this like edgy camp counselor vibe, I don't know. And next we have the wave shirt. I don't hate it, but you know, well, compared to what it was supposed to look like, it was a little bit of a fail. And finally, we have the classic spiral tie-dye. And I might crop this one as well. Make sure to let me know which design was your favorite in the comments. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye!